So what's it mean to be an engineer? We analyze everything, even jokes. This is when I write a joke, I analyze it. And I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to tell you a joke, then I'm going to analyze it. So here we go. I actually did a benefit recently in Palos Verdes, just down the road. We raised money for the boatless. Apparently there are a couple people who couldn't afford one. And we fixed that problem. Pretty good joke, right? Hey, let's analyze that joke. Venn diagrams are perfect for analyzing this joke. Because what is a joke? It's one idea here linked together with another idea. Where they overlap, that's the funny part. That is a Venn diagram. So for that joke to work, you have to have been to Palos Verdes and know that they don't allow homeless people. And that overlap turns out to be 72%. Perfect.
Why, hello there, and welcome once again to Comedy in Place. This is the comedy show that comes to you from my office. This is my office in my home in Southern California. I am your host, engineer, comedian Don McMillan. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed that opening clip. I hope you enjoy Venn diagrams, because today's show is all about Venn diagrams. It is chock full of Venn diagrams, because today's show is a tribute to the one and only John Venn. The inventor of the Venn diagram, Mr. John Venn, a personal idol of mine. Think how important he was to us math people. Without John Venn, math class would have been boring. We wouldn't have had any circles to draw, and we couldn't color in anything. He made math fun. He made math colorful. So thank you for that, John Glenn. And today's show is all about John Venn for one really good reason, and I'm going to go to my slides, because today is John Venn's birthday. Happy birthday, John Venn. John Venn was born on August 4th, 1834. And before you ask, he is no longer alive. He's not. The intersection of the sets of people born in 1834 and the set of people that are still alive is null. There's nobody in that. So nobody's alive from 1834. But that's John Venn right there. And doesn't he totally look like a math professor in the 19th century? Totally looks the role, right from Central Casting. But I thought I would use John Venn's birthday to show you a basic Venn diagram, in case you're not familiar with Venn diagram. So here you go. There's two sets here. There's the set of people born in 1834, of which John Venn was one, and there's the set of people born in August. And the overlap of that is right there, and John Venn sits in the overlap of those two circles. That's how Venn diagrams works. It's where things overlap, and you can see where both things are true. It's great for finding truth. I'll get to that later. But when I looked at this, I realized another interesting thing. August 4th, 1834, that means John Venn was, in fact, a Leo. He's a Leo. I happen to be a Leo. Born on August 12th. We're both Leos. Now, let's think about this in a Venn diagram way. Let's look at the sets. There's the set of statisticians, of which John Venn was one, and the set of people who believe in astrology, and that overlap happens to be zero. No statisticians believe in astrology. They don't believe that big flaming balls of gas millions and trillions of miles away affect your personality or your future. So that set is zero. That is the null set, as we call it. John Venn, not a believer in astrology. But he was an amazing guy. John Venn, very amazing guy. How amazing was he? Here is where John Venn sets himself apart in a three-circle Venn diagram, right here. He is, of course, he was a mathematician, so there's the set of mathematicians. Then there's a set of people who are fellows of the Royal Society in London. The highest, for engineers and scientists and mathematicians, highest award you can get in London. Not all mathematicians could get in, and not all people who are fellows are mathematicians, so there's the overlap there. And then how does John Venn set himself apart? People who can draw and color only inside the circles. There's only one person that I know of, and that is John Venn himself. Mathematicians, not good drawers or colors. Fellows, not good drawers or colors. But John Venn could do all those things. He was a fellow, he was a mathematician, and he could color and draw. Way to go, John Venn. Thanks for changing the world. Now, as I thought about John Venn, I always thought, how can we learn and use what John Venn taught us today? And he was very civically active, very involved in the local community. He was a big believer in women's rights, by the way. And I believe if he were alive today, he would be in search of the truth. And Venn diagrams could help us find what is true, and we need that today. So here we go. Here's how you can be John Venn's theory, I believe, if you're alive today, on real news, finding facts and the real news. You got to do two things, according to John Venn. You have to watch CNN, right? Watch CNN, and then watch Fox News. And where those two overlap, that's the real news. That's true. Whatever they see on both shows, whatever the inner overlap of those facts are, that's how we can find the truth. What's sad, though, as I watched the news today on August 4th, 2020, I watched the news today, and no, nothing. There was nothing the same on either one. John Venn would be very disappointed. And with that, I'm going to go back to my one shot here and say, stick around. There's more Venn diagrams coming up. Actually, one of my favorite, oldest jokes in Venn diagram analysis format. I actually use Venn diagrams to analyze my jokes to see if they're going to work or not. You're going to see one coming up. It's one of my older jokes and one of my best uses of Venn diagrams. In the meantime, keep laughing. Use Venn diagrams. John Venn would be proud. Happy birthday, John Venn. Here comes your video.
So how does this engineer comedian thing work? I don't know what people think I'm going to do. I was like, they think I'm going to tell a joke and then analyze it? And I thought, well, I could do that. So let's do that. What the hell? Let's do that. So here we go. This is actually a joke I wrote several years ago. I was hired by the American Association of Physicists. Yeah, the dream gig for any comedian, right there. And this is a true story. It's like 1991. I was hired to play their annual convention, and they said, "Can you make physics fun?" And I'm like, "Well, there's a challenge." So I wrote what I believed at the time was the first physics joke. And here you go. An atom walks into a bar. See, that was enough for them right there. They were like, "Oh my God, that's funny." And Adam walks. Atoms don't walk. They're very little. You could not see them walk. And they travel in discrete energy levels. There's no walking. This guy's crazy. That was enough. The physicists were dying. But there was more. So the atom walks into the bar, says to the bartender, "Give me a double." Bartender pours him the drink, hands it to him, goes, "Man, you look terrible. What's your problem?" And the atom says, "I lost an electron today." The bartender says, "Are you sure?" And the atom says, "I'm positive." Is that not a great physics joke? If you play a physics convention, please feel free to use it. So why does that joke work? Let's do the analysis. This is the lab. This is the comedy lab. We're going to the comedy lab. So I'm going to a Venn diagram analysis of the joke. Okay. Two things need to happen in order for that joke to work. You have to overlap it. Comedy's about overlap. So you need to understand basic atomic physics, and you've been to a bar. And that overlap turns out to be 72%.